Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, thanks to God Allah, the Master of the Universe and the Master of the Day After. So peace and salutation to our Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And thanks to our supervisor in this course and all participants in this video. Okay, we are from fourth group of extensive reading with the material 7 benefits of extensive reading for English students. Okay, before going to our materials, let's introduce my group. I am Ainayah Dian ISLAMI with official number A1M220079.
My name is BUDIHRADJO SYAHRANI. My register number A1M219029.
I'm PUTRI ANDRIANI with ID student number A1M220019.
My name is RASYID with official number A1M220033.
My name is LARASWATI, official number A1M220049.
My name is ROMANSA with student ID A1M220063.
My name is DITA APRILIA. My student ID number is A1M220093.
My name is SYAHRUL with student ID number A1M220108.
Okay, now I will explain about what is extensive reading. So, extensive reading is an approach to the teaching of language which involves the student from reading a lot of books that are easy and interesting and that they choose. Even though we say extensive reading is an approach to the teaching of reading, we've discovered through a bunch of research studies that it also helps the other areas of language development: reading, writing, listening, speaking, and also the effect of dimension on attitudes and motivation. So extensive reading is a kind in that it gets more than just reading. Ya, sekarang kita sudah mengetahui apa itu extensive reading. Sekarang kita juga harus tahu the most 7 important principles for successful extensive reading. Nah, yang pertama itu read a great deal, membaca yang banyak. Kedua, reading material is easy. Ketiga, student choose what to read. Keempat, variety, genre, and topics. 5, read of pleasure, information, or general understanding. 6, reading is individual and silent. 7, teacher takes a guide, monitor, and role model.
Okay, the next, there are 7 benefits of extensive reading according students become better reader, student learn more vocabulary, so student improve writing, so student improve overall language competence, so student become more motivated to read, so student develop learner autonomy, and the last, student become more empathic. Okay, for the 7 benefit of extensive reading will be explained by our member groups.
I'm gonna explain about the benefits of extensive reading. Students become better reader. It is widely accepted that people become a good reader through reading, and that learning how to read should mean a primary focus of attention on the meaning rather than on the language of the text. It is pretty obvious that extensive reading helps students become better readers. Research by RASYID that amongst many others shows that we learn to read by reading. The more language students read, the better reader they become. That's all from me. Thank you.
Well, the next benefit of extensive reading is students can learn more vocabulary. Probably the most cited benefit of extensive reading is that it can extend and sustain students' vocabulary growth. We know that vocabulary is not learned by single exposure. Experts in language and literacy development, such as Harvard University Education Professor Catherine Snow, believe that you need to encounter a word or praise in different contexts between 15 and 20 times to have a high possibility of learning the word or phrase. Students are highly unlikely to encounter vocabulary sufficient times within the classroom to learn it. However, if they read extensively, they are much more likely to get multiple encounters with words and phrase in a variety of contexts. That's all that I can explain. Thank you.
Extensive reading can improve students' writing skills. Why? Because reading habits are closely related to writing skills. If you want to write something, then you have to read it first. By reading extensively, students will be proficient in writing. This is because in reading, students will find many languages as well as extensive knowledge and put it into writing. For example, in reading novel extensively, students will write the main idea, plot in the novel, and they can even find inspiration to write novel stories with their creativity. In conclusion, extensive reading increases vocabulary and enriches writing.
I will explain about the next benefit of extensive reading. Which is student can improve overall language competence. So, in many ways, we so far do not fully understand the benefit of extensive reading extend beyond reading. There is a spread effect from reading competence to other language skills, namely writing, speaking, and control over syntax, according to Ali 1991. So, the same phenomenon is noted by Day and Bamford in 1998, but they even note the evidence of improvement in the spoken language. So, in addition to gain in reading and writing proficiency, research demonstrates that students who read extensively also make gains in overall language competence. For example, Cho and Crescent in 1994 reported that their 4 adult ESL learners or English as second language learners increased competence in both listening and speaking abilities through reading extensively. So, extensive reading will seem to benefit all language skill, not just reading and writing, but overall language skill. That's all from me. Thank you very much.
Okay, the next benefits of extensive reading is that students become more motivated to read. So this can trigger students' habits in reading stories and English books. Then from that habit, they will grow sense of wanting to continue to explore their potential in English. So this is what can motivate students to read more. However, we need to remember that reading books or stories must be in accordance with the age of level the students themselves.
6. Students develop learner autonomy. What is learner autonomy? The phrase learner autonomy was coined in the early 1980s by educational guru named Henry Hollick, who defined it as the, and I quote, learner's ability to take charge of his or her own learning. In other words, learner autonomy is when students take control and responsibility for their own learning, both in terms of what they learn and how they learned it. As we all know that students can read anywhere and anytime. Reading extensively helps them become more autonomous learners. For example, you really like reading the Harry Potter novel series. The deeper you understand the novel, the more you want to move on to the next novel so that it becomes a habit. Because you are reading independently, you have full control over what and when the next novel be read. Likewise, with other reading material, both fiction and non-fiction books, you are free to choose which ones to read, determine at what time to read them all, and read them at home or school library, and how often to do these reading activities. To promote learner autonomy, extensive reading should be a student-managed activity. That is to say that students should decide what, when, where, and how often they read.
I will explain the topic about students become more empathic. Neuroscience and social science studies have shown that people who read literal fiction extensively are more empathic. People who read novels about other people who are very different from themselves and their background are very empathic. In short, people who often read books will feel more various kinds of events as a result of reading, so that the sense of empathy in him will come out by itself.
Okay, the conclusion of these materials. There are many benefits of extensive reading in language learning. These include gains in reading and writing competence, oral and oral skills, so vocabulary growth, so increase in motivation, self-esteem, and empathy. So students who read extensively also become more better in their potential in English language. Okay, I think that's all our materials from fourth group. We hope these materials can be useful for us. So apologize us from all our mistakes. And then wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.